In this video, you will learn how to use remote IPsec and SSL VPN tunnels to bypass internet access restrictions. A VPN tunnel is an encrypted traffic passage between two endpoints. In this example, the VPN tunnel is between a local user running FortiClient with restricted internet access and a remote FortiGate with unrestricted internet access. Restricted internet access for the local user will be simulated with a web filtering profile that blocks google.com. You will create an SSL or IPsec VPN tunnel to connect to the remote FortiGate unit to bypass the web filter and browse to google.com. First, we'll configure the IPsec VPN. On the remote FortiGate, go to VPN IPsec Wizard. Name your VPN connection, and select Dial-Up FortiClient Windows, macOS, Android, and click Next. Set the incoming interface to the Internet-facing interface. Select Pre-Shared Key for the authentication method, and enter the key. Then select the VPN user's user group. If you don't have one, select Create to create one. When you're done, select Next. Set the local interface to the internal interface, and the local address to the local LAN address. Enter the IP range that you'd like to assign to VPN users in the Client Address Range field. Select Next and set client options as desired. When you complete the wizard, it will automatically create a new firewall address for this address range, as well as a firewall policy to allow remote users in this address range to access the internal network. Next, go to VPN SSL Portals to configure the SSL VPN. Select the full access portal and select Edit. Disable split tunneling so that all VPN traffic will pass through the FortiGate unit's firewall. Save the changes. Then go to VPN SSL Settings. Under Connection Settings, listen on the Internet-facing interface, and set the listening port to port 10443. Allow access from any host and automatically assign addresses. Under Authentication Portal Mapping, assign the VPN users group to the full access portal. Assign all other users or groups to another portal. By default, the FortiGate has an SSL root firewall address for you to use in firewall policies, so you don't need to create one. Now go to Policy and Objects, Policy IPv4. You're going to create two policies allowing remote users to access the internet securely through the FortiGate, one for IPsec and one for SSL. For the IPsec policy, set the incoming interface to the tunnel interface and the source address to all. Set outgoing interface to your internet-facing interface and destination address to all. Set service to all and ensure that you enable NAT. Then create a second policy for SSL. Setting the source users to the VPN users group. Configure the rest as you did for IPsec. On the local user's computer, open FortiClient and go to Remote Access. Select Add a new connection to add the VPN information. Provide a connection name and set the type to IPsec or SSL VPN, depending on which configuration you want to use. Set the remote gateway to the FortiGate's IP address. For SSL VPN, enable Customize Port and set it to 10443. For IPsec VPN, set authentication method to pre-shared key, and enter the key below. If needed, enter a username from the VPN users group. Currently, the web filtering profile is still blocking access to google.com. In FortiClient, select the connection from the list, and enter the user account information and select Connect. If prompted with a server authentication warning, select Yes. Once the connection is established, the FortiGate assigns the client an IP address, and FortiClient will display the status of the connection. With the tunnel up, you can now visit google.com without it being blocked, since the internet traffic is handled by the remote FortiGate and the web filter on the local FortiGate has been bypassed. Thank you for watching. If you need further details, you can visit docs.fortinet.com to access our complete documentation library. Also check out our new Cookbook site at cookbook.fortinet.com for more tutorials like this one.